PK52, the Saturday morning meeting. This is the third chapter of the Sam Walton Walmart story, Mr. Sam. I did in the first session. If you hadn't watched the first two, go back and watch those because each one of his top 10 rules, I think, hit home for everybody. I did 1, 2, and 3. Then I did 4, 5, and 6. I'm going to do the last 4 today. So number one, getting right into it, was listen. And what he said was listen to all associates. Everybody's got an opinion. You know, I work in the car industry, and it's funny, usually the information flows top down. The management tells everybody else what to do. But some of the most brilliant people I ever met in a dealership were people that worked in recon, the service riders, and the sales professionals. In fact, they were so brilliant that now they're running stores or own a dealership. So I guess we should have listened to them back in the day because they knew exactly what the customers were saying. The people that talk to the customers know what direction we should go. We can always better ourselves with open communication. So I'll give you a story with me. Back in the 90s, I ran several stores. And I always wanted to find out what was wrong with the store. If they brought me in, it wasn't because the store was doing good. They brought me in to make some changes in the store. That was, you know, the fixer guy, right? So I didn't meet with the salespeople and ask them what was wrong because salespeople are really good at not answering a question in a very, very eloquent way, but not answering. I always started out the first group of people I met with the salt of the earth people. They were the technicians. I brought all the technicians by. In the last dealership I was at, I had a pancake breakfast. So I'm out there having a guy cooking them pancakes, and everybody loves to eat. And I said, you know, there's several things that I try to be aware of with my service and parts associates. Most of you are people that like to have personal life. Family is big for you guys, and I know it's a generality, but it's usually true. Some of you like to fish, some of you like to hunt, some of you like to ride motorcycles. Well, we're going to work options where the things you really enjoy to do in life, we're going to be able to do. We'll work a schedule like that. But when we're here, we're going to do the best of anybody in town, if that's okay. And everybody loves, you're talking about fishing and stuff, people, you get their attention. And then I would say, with a show of hands, how many of you did not buy your last vehicle that you bought from this dealership? And as you well know, nearly every hand went up. And then I'd pick out a couple. Why? Well, I mean, they charge us more than they charge the customer. You know, you can't buy a car here. And so immediately I would put in an associate purchase plan. I'm not going to make money on the people that work for me and make money for me. I'm going to put units out there and I'm going to sell cars to my that was my personal deal, but that increased my unit count. And I could put, if I want to put it on a separate deal, associate purchase, I could put a separate line in. That's fine. If I didn't want it to be against, you know, my per unit retail. But that was the most important thing, is that communication. I want to talk to everybody in the store because then I can figure out what direction we needed to fix. So listen would be number 7. Number 8, he said exceed. Now, I like this. Now, Sam Walton's exceed means satisfaction guaranteed. That was his 2 words, satisfaction guaranteed. That when he was alive, that was real. There's a 10-foot rule. If you're an associate of Walmart, you walk within 10 foot of a customer, you have to, can I help you with anything? You had to ask. That was a rule. You did not walk past that customer. He also had, I told you a couple of stories in the first 2 deals where the guy brought the fishing rod back and he said it was defective because it wouldn't catch fish. Well, you know what? They didn't say, you're an idiot, you're not a good fisherman. They gave him his money back. And so I look at that and let me do, I don't know, that relates to everything. Let me do this. If I'm relating to something I've done before. So if I'm buying a pre-owned car from the dealership, you know, I don't know where that car's been. I don't know if the car's been maintained. I don't know that I'm not going to have to spend money on the car immediately after taking delivery of the car. So one of the things I've done is I've had the technicians, when they go through a car, goes through the shop, whether it's used, pre-owned, or certified car, write a note saying, I was a technician that inspected and approved this car. If you have any questions, I'm always here. And I put a handwritten note on every pre-owned car that I had at the dealership from the technician that approved the car. So I believe if I look at exceed, nobody does that. You can't go to any car dealership and get a handwritten note from the actual tech that worked on the car, the last person to inspect the car before they bought it. And so I think that would take care of number 8. Number 9, control. Control your expenses. You know, that increases profit. You know, one of the things that before Sam Walton or Walmart was number 1 retailer, they were number 1 for multiple years for keeping expenses down. That included payroll, but they also gave people alternatives to be able to get into the profit sharing. But he kept his expenses down, watching his expenses closely. So I guess in today's world, I can buy advertising spots and I can pay for different things to improve my business. But right now, social media is so powerful. I made a statement in one of the classes I just taught that they're saying in the last election that social media controlled the outcome of the election. Now, I don't know if nobody knows anything's true or not. Everybody has an opinion, but social media is powerful and it directs people to do certain things. Data is the most powerful thing on earth right now. And so the social media that you can use as an individual, Facebook Live, or as somebody that sells something on Facebook Live or anything else is all free of charge. The information that you want to give to the general population, the 300 million people that live in the United States, on the internet and social media is at no cost to you. So why would you not become more efficient? So that would be, if I'm looking at number 9, that's how I can control my destiny. The more people that know what I do, the better chance I have to do more of what I do. And the last thing is, he says swim. I like this, it's swim. And he goes upstream. He goes, if everybody's doing it this way, there could be a niche out there that could take a revolutionary deal. I mean, again, I'm going to repeat, but what he told the people when he worked for Ben Franklin, the Five and Dime organization, was if they would buy and warehouse the most demanded items of Americans, so they would cut out the middleman, so they controlled the market for these things, then their profitability would go through the roof. And the Ben Franklin people said that's not the way it's done. They're swimming down the stream. Everybody uses the same middlemen. That's how we do it. We just mark our product, you know. And he says, okay, well, I'll leave. He left and opened Walmart and opened these giant warehouses, and he warehoused all the items that Americans wanted, and his profit per unit went up. That's the same thing. The commodity when you're selling something is no more the commodity. I just don't believe it. No matter what you sell, if you're selling cars or shirts or furniture, it's no longer the commodity. There's things to say. You know, if you're selling furniture, you could talk about the way it's maintained and made and where it's made and the materials in it and how long the guarantee is going to last, all that. You could say that. But really, the sale is you. You're the convincer. You're the person that either believes in it strong enough to cast your belief on somebody else or to make an articulate statement. So I think in the world of the day, the thing is not really the product you're selling, but you as the product to the product. Because when somebody buys deep into you, there's going to be a sale, and it's probably going to end up a long-term business relationship. Remember, the 3 top things you should always sell. Number 1 is sell yourself. You should be better at selling yourself than anything else you sell. Now, if there's time left over after number 1, really focus on number 2, which will be sell yourself. And if there's any time after that, sell yourself. Most consumers in the market now have done massive amounts of research. If they looked at one thing on the internet, they're bombarded with a million companies trying to sell them the product. The only thing they haven't met is you. PK52, the Saturday Morning Meeting.